What is going on, guys? Back at it again for another edition of Just Little Podcast on YouTube. Today's video is going to be all about my goal list for 2022. So I'm trying to do a little bit of an update on it because it's been a while since I've been in front of the camera and talking about some comics. So I wanted to get into the comics that I'll be diving in. So let's get things cracking. Well, I should have had this stuff prepared. So here we go. All right, so back earlier in the year, I decided to go and make a list of different comic books that I wanted to go and get. They're kind of like all over the place. There's some high, there's some lows, there's some strange little comics that are going on, but it's really cool. I really was happy with the selection of comics that I picked up and decided to put on this list. So there is a number of comic books, and thankfully I've been knocking them out, which has been great. It's been a lot of fun getting these books, finding them out in the wild or making connections with different people to get these books. And it's been a lot of fun. I honestly have really been enjoying hunting for these books. So one of those books, I'm going to kind of kick it off with the first book, or one of the first books that I was able to go and pick up, which I'm really happy about. It is Jack Kirby's Demon Number One. So this book I've always been a huge fan of, and growing up as a kid watching like Justice League of America and Justice League, this character for some reason just kind of stood out to me a lot. And I don't know why exactly, but now that I'm an adult, I was able to go and kind of pick up some of the run, and I've almost completed the entire run. I think I have maybe one or two issues left to go and pick up from Jack Kirby's Demon Number One. It is super clean. I really dig this comic. Of course, August 1972, Jack Kirby wrote it and actually illustrated it. And this is during the time of King Arthur. Egerton summoned by Merlin, I want to say it was back in the day, of course. And you have Egerton the demon kind of taking the body of Jason Blood, and it just kind of goes on from there. And it's a really great story. Almost on, like I said, I've completed the entire run of this, so I'm really happy. Hopefully by the end of this year, I will have the entire run of this, which I'm super stoked about. Next one on the list, we have Hanna-Barbera's Johnny Quest, the mystery of the Lizardmen. Now, this one is a big thing for me. As a kid, I kind of grew up watching Johnny Quest a lot, especially with my dad. It was just something that we watched. The animation was out of this world for me as a kid. And of course, this is like reruns. This is from 1964. This is an adaptation of Johnny Quest, the actual series on TV. This is the first episode kind of put together into what we have here in the comic book. And I just dig it. I really love this book quite a bit. It's from Gold Key Comics, September of 1964. And it was more of like a promotional thing to try to get people into watching the series. And yeah, it's super cool. Next one we have, I'm a big fan of Stan Lee. So I ended up picking up this. I'm also a big fan of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers as a kid. I heavily loved the show. Thought I was a Power Ranger as a kid. So this cover is such a cool cover from 2017 with Stan Lee on there, and I absolutely adore this thing. It's a Stan Lee box variant, and I can't go wrong with it. Honestly, to be honest with you, I'm just really happy it's in my PC, and it was a no-brainer buy for me because I am a Stan Lee fan. Speaking of Stan Lee, another one is the No Prize book. So this book, depending on which way you want to look at it, has a lot of errors on there, but it's a really cool concept. It's basically a fake award kind of given out to different people in the comic book community that truly love Marvel. And we're finding out that there were so many different errors that took place within the comics that they kind of put out this thing saying like, hey, if you find them all, you can win a prize. And this is one of the prizes, the No Prize book. It's super cool. It has Stan Lee on the cover as well, and he's in a Doctor Doom kind of outfit like esque appearance, which I really dig as well. No prize was given as a charitable work and other different things along with this particular book, and it's really cool. It's a cool concept that Marvel decided to go and do to kind of bring awareness. Like, hey, we know there's mistakes in our books, but we don't care. We're gonna go and put them all into this book right here. Next one on the list. I am a Star Wars fan. I'm also an Ewoks fan. So this one, really happy I was able to go and get this from my good friends over at Spectales Podcast. Check them out. Highly recommend their podcast. If you like comic books, if you love comic books, and you've always wondered about these different Grail tales, different spec books that are out there, that is a really good podcast to go and check out. Highly recommend. Like they're awesome dudes, awesome dudes. Jake and Jesus really put on a great show, and they were lucky enough to send me this book, and I'm really pleased with it. Ewoks #1. You cannot go wrong with this. 1985. And this is kind of like encompassing the storyline of Kanisa steps into a nightshade thorn where Wicket, and I want to say it's like Wicket and Taboo must find this type of flower that's going to help to go and bring a cure to them. So really cool concept of Ewoks. Ewoks are adorable, but at the same time, they are crazy when you really think about what the concept was for Star Wars. These little teddy bears were literally eating people, and it's so cool to think that they were able to put them in this comic book. Awesome stuff. So, on to some more Star Wars. We have a big book for me. This is Thrawn #1. Now, I am a massive fan of Thrawn #1, 2018. One of the most ruthless and cunning minds out in the Star Wars galaxy, Grand Admiral Thrawn, is back again with a 6-part issue series, or miniseries, I should say. It follows the story of Timothy Zahn's best-selling novel, Thrawn. And it involves kind of Thrawn, how he rises up from the ranks of where he is now on this deserted planet. He's kind of exiled on there, and he ends up finding out that the Imperials are out there, the Imperial stormtroopers and stuff like that are out there, and he ends up getting captured, and he works his way through the ranks to become a Grand Admiral in the Star Wars saga, and it's so cool. I love this character. He's one of my favorite characters of all times. I've read all the books for Timothy Zahn when it comes to Thrawn, and yeah, it's just he's a really cool character, and I'm excited to see him kind of come through more and more in Star Wars later down the line. Able to get this book by my good buddy Grinding for Slabs. Highly recommend checking him out. He ended up hooking me up with the entire run. I bought the entire run from him, and he threw in another reader copy for me of the first issue. So I was able to read the first issue without touching this one, keeping it pristine. And I definitely think I will probably be sending this one off to get graded because it's a pretty sweet copy. So my last book that I was able to go and pick up off my goal list, fairly recent, was another Star Wars issue 55. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, this book is 100% just like a cover buy for me because I am a massive Cad Bane fan. So I won't lie to you, on this cover is sweet. It pops. Cad Bane is one of the most ruthless bounty hunters in the known galaxy, and I'm a massive fan of him. Spoilers if you haven't watched it, but I was a big fan of when he came into the live action series for Boba Fett. Super awesome on this cover. I dig it quite a bit. It really pops. His eyes, man, everything about this thing is so freaking awesome, and I'm a massive Cad Bane fan. So yeah, this was simply just a cover buy for me because I love Cad Bane. Last book that I actually currently have off of my goal list is Batman issue 200. Now, this book was actually a book that I purchased off my good buddy Matt, the boy who had 7, and I was lucky enough to get this gorgeous copy from him. 6.5, cream to off-white pages, super clean. It presents gorgeously. Matt's a great friend of mine. This is Neil Adams cover, and it just screams his work. I mean, you can really tell by all the details in it, the back issues that are behind there. It screams the 1966 Batman TV show starring Adam West, of course, as Batman. So to kind of give you a little backstory on this issue, the Scarecrow is once again at large, and he's testing out this pill that he has, and he's using this pill on his victims that he captures. And he ends up using that pill to go and kind of bring out their darkest fears. Kind of reminds you of a book, or not a book, a movie, I should say, that took place not too long ago. And it seems like this is a very big inspiration for that movie. Batman, was it Batman Begins? Batman, I don't know, one of the Batmans that fairly came out. So yeah, I'm really happy for this book. I love the pink cover. I love the details on this. I love everything about it. So I'm really happy that I've added that to the PC. So that is so far the books that I currently have that are off of my goal list from this year. I have a few more books that I need to go and get off of there, but at the moment, those books are coming soon. Hopefully, I can get more of them off of there. Another book that's actually on there is this book in particular. I am a massive Doctor Doom fan, so this book was a no-brainer for me to go and add to my list. Marvel's Superheroes Doctor Doom issue 20 from 1969. The detail on this thing, man, I just love this cover so freaking much. It's a square brown cover. Unfortunately, like I said, I do not have it in my PC at the moment, but it is a massive book that's being speculated on by a lot of people. So the price is continuing to rise. So hopefully I can acquire it this year, but I don't know just because of the prices. I don't really want to pay an arm and a leg for this book. Granted, it's right now sitting around like $200 to $300 range for like a 4 to 5. It's still a pretty pricey book, to be honest, but it's a book that I've wanted for quite some time, and I really, really enjoy this cover a lot. I dig it. It's basically Doctor Doom is preparing to battle again the Fantastic Four, and he ends up meeting up with Diablo, who says, "Hey, we should go and form an alliance," and that's when the mayhem happens. So this is a big book for me. It's definitely a massive key, especially in the Doctor Doom type of esque world, which I am a Doctor Doom fan. So this is book is something that I've really wanted to get for quite some time. The last book on my list, my goal list for 2022, is none other than Neil Adams' Superman versus Muhammad Ali, the fight to save Earth from the Star Warriors. This is a massive book for me. Massive, massive. Unfortunately, it's coming off the cuffs of Neil Adams passing away, sadly passing away. But the Superman versus Muhammad Ali is an oversized celebrity book published by DC Comics back in 1972. It's about 72 pages long, and it features Superman teaming up with the heavyweight boxing champion of the world, Muhammad Ali, to defeat the alien invasion on Earth. The story kind of takes place with them preparing for this boxing match, and it's so freaking awesome. There's so many different celebrities in this book, and I truly, truly want this in my PC. I know my good buddy um, Magic Lasso has been trying to help me out quite a bit with this book. Hopefully, I can acquire it this year as well. But those are the books that I am trying to seek after, and these are the books that I have acquired. So I've definitely put a massive dent into my goal list for 2022. There still are a couple more books that I need to go and collect. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they will happen sooner than later. Hopefully this year. But that will do it for this episode. If you like the podcast, if you like the show, definitely check out the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, wherever you go to listen to podcasts, I am there. And if you want to support the podcast, check out my Patreon, patreon.com/justlittlepodcast. For as little as $3, you can go and actually support the show. For as little as $5, you get access to exclusive content. I've been collaborating with a lot of great people like the Matt the Boy Who Had Seven. Myself and Magic Lasso are going to be putting out a brand new series on X-Men, the animated series. We're going to be going through the history of X-Men through the animated series. So be on the lookout for that if you sign up. But yeah, that's going to do it for this week's kind of little showcase of some books, giving you an update on my goal list for 2022. Till then, stay safe, and I will see you very, very soon. Take care. Bye.